Hey everyone, this is Scott Decamp with MLive Media Group here with Kyle Austin. In the aftermath of Michigan State's 31-14 loss to BYU. That's 3 straight losses for Michigan State. First time that's happened since 2009. I mean, what's your big takeaway on that?
Well, it's the worst of the three. You lose to a top 10 team at home. You go lose to, I think, a decent Indiana team on the road. And, this is a team that came in here under 500. They just given up 52 points, I believe, to at home to Toledo. And Michigan State, really has a touchdown for most of the game that mattered. Biggest takeaway is that offense. They couldn't get more than a touchdown on the board. Tyler O'Connor obviously getting pulled is going to be the main storyline going forward. But I don't think this was a clear he was playing terribly. They had to get him out of there. I think there were a lot of issues with Michigan State's offense. I think there's going to be an open debate as to whether he's more at fault or Dave Warner's more at fault. Because you see them go very first drive, go down 15 plays, score, have a lot of success running the ball, and then they threw it one more time the rest of the first half. And I know they got pinned inside their own 5 on 2 more drives after that. And that's what Dave Warner talked about when his play calling was questioned. But the fact is they need to find a way to throw the ball a little bit more than they did. Tyler O'Connor wasn't good. I don't think he is, public enemy number 1 here. I don't think this was an awful performance by him, but they've got a lot of things to figure out. Quarterback's one of them, but they got a lot of things to figure out.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the head. That's where I would have gone with it too, as far as if it's not one thing, it's something else. Mm-hmm. And it's, if 10 guys are doing their jobs, then number 11 is just out of place or whatever, right. And that's all it takes. But, the really bizarre thing about this game is, and one of the big storylines going into it was McDowell having to sit out the first half after that targeting suspension. And oddly enough, Michigan State was up 7-3 without him at the half and basically get outscored 28-7 the rest of the way. I mean, How do you explain that one?
It's tough. It's almost like McDowell being in there made them realize that, hey, they can throw on Michigan State. And that secondary, you can get some passes completed. So I think Taysom Hill started completing some passes, but then they started running the ball. I mean, the thing that I have trouble figuring out is, Michigan State Mark D'Antonio teams, their hallmark is as the game goes on, their line play gets better. They wear other teams down up front, and that's how they win. Today seemed like the opposite to me. BYU seemed to be the team that was wearing down both lines, frankly. Michigan State lost 2 key offensive linemen, but they just were running the ball better as it went on. They were handling Michigan State's defensive line better, and it's one of the more surprising things I've ever seen. Because Michigan State, it's still got a lot of good, talented players on both sides of the line. You don't expect that to happen.
You talk about getting worn down. That we've seen that really in the 3 straight losses, and I don't know if you could say the same thing with the Notre Dame game because it was a little different where. Maybe Michigan State took its foot off the gas. Yeah, and they were just kind of trying to coast to the victory and just get out of there with a win, basically. But, yeah, so, as far as talking about O'Connor, do we have a quarterback controversy? Him getting yanked and then bringing in Damien Terry?
Well, it's funny. Mark D'Antonio said twice, he talked about his quarterback, and he said, I don't want to have a quarterback controversy. I don't want to have a quarterback controversy. So I finally had to grab a microphone and say, Mark, do you have a quarterback controversy? And he won't commit to Tyler O'Connor for next week is the answer. I don't think we'll find out until noon next week against Northwestern. I wouldn't be surprised either way, frankly. I don't think Tyler O'Connor was so bad they had to get him out of there. But you look at what Damien Terry did. He gave them a spark. They were able to run a little bit more up tempo with him. He had the interception on a bad throw, but had a couple more good ones. Both those quarterbacks can run, but Damien Terry is clearly the more dangerous runner. He's faster, he's shiftier. So you can do a few more things with him. Frankly, either one wouldn't surprise me right now.
Yeah, and to me, too, the quarterback, everyone wants to point to that.
Right.
But there are so many other issues that, where do you begin? So, but I think that'll do it for us. This is Kyle Austin. I'm Scott Decamp. Thanks for joining us.